Hi everyone, welcome back to today's video. For today, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this super cute little birthday card. I absolutely love this one, and it's featuring our Oh So Succulent stamp set and the Succulent Garden Suite from the new Occasions catalog. This is one of my absolute favorites, so this is just the first of many projects that I'm going to be doing with this set. I think this one's absolutely adorable, and I was actually a little bit inspired for this card from one of the cards that's actually in the suite. This one right here in the catalog, I should say, how it has all of the little elements kind of grouped together. I really liked that. So that's what kind of inspired me to make this card. So we're going to go ahead and jump on into it. For this one, we're going to be using quite a few of the different stamps from the Oh So Succulent stamp set. We're going to be using these succulent images. We're going to use this one, and then the greeting, obviously. So we're going to be using quite a few different images from here, as well as the coordinating framelits that go along with those images so we can cut them out perfectly. For ink, we're going to be using 3 different colors of ink today. We have Old Olive, Sweet Sugar Plum, and Calypso Coral. And at first, all of these colors don't look like they're going to work perfectly together, but they actually do. They're so pretty together. So that's going to be super fun. We'll set those off to the side. For our paper, it's very minimal. We have just a piece, this is just a scrap of Whisper White. I think it's like 2 inches by like 8.5 or something. I just cut off a scrap from a full piece of cardstock. This is what we're going to be using to do our die cutting on. So you just need a scrap that's going to be able to allow you enough room to do all of our stamping and die cutting. I have another little piece of Whisper White, and this is cut at 1 inch by 5.25. So it's a really tiny little strip. Again, you could probably use a scrap for this. Then we have this cardstock, and this is from the Succulent Garden Suite as well. What is this? I shouldn't say cardstock, it's Designer Series paper. And that is the Succulent Garden Designer Series paper. And this is cut at 5.25 by 4 inches. This paper is super pretty, and if you're in my paper share, you're going to be getting a sample of this. It's just absolutely adorable. I love this one so much. And then I have a piece of Sweet Sugar Plum cardstock, which is cut at 8.5 by 5.5 to make our standard card base. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is get all of our little flower succulent images stamped and cut out. So like I said, we're using quite a few of the stamps from this stamp set, and we're going to be doing the same thing with all of them. So I'm going to start with the larger succulent image, and I would suggest you're going to need a scrap piece of paper because we're going to be doing some stamping off. And for this one, we're going to start with our Sweet Sugar Plum. I would also recommend having your Stampin' Mist and Stampin' Scrub close by so that you can reuse your blocks. If you're like me, I mean, I like to spend my money on ink and paper and stamp sets and such, so I only have one of each block. So I'm going to have to reuse my blocks to get all of this stamping done. So I would highly suggest having your mist and scrub close by so that you can just really quickly clean your stamps and reuse your blocks. So speaking of, let me go ahead and mount these up. So I have, like I said, the 2 larger succulent images. And what I'm going to do is start, so you have a inner stamp and the outline stamp. So I'm going to start with the inner stamp. And this is Sweet Sugar Plum. I'm just going to get it nice and inked up, and I'm going to go ahead and ink it and stamp it onto my piece of regular paper here. This is just regular copy paper. And then I'm going to stamp the second generation onto my piece of Whisper White. So this is going to be, we're going to off stamp on our scratch piece of paper and then do our second generation stamp onto our Whisper White cardstock. And this way, you get 2 colors out of 1 ink pad. So it's really awesome. And you know that they're going to coordinate together perfectly because they're the exact same color. So now I'm going to take my outline stamp and I'm going to try to line it up. And this one I'm not stamping off first. So this is the first generation color. And there you go. So now we have a lighter inner part and a nice dark outline. So I'm going to go ahead and do this exact same technique with all of my other images. So I'm going to show you first what you're going to need. So we're going to need 2 of the larger succulents. We're going to need 1 of the smaller succulents. And that one we're going to do in Calypso Coral. And then we have these 2 other little succulent images. So this one is kind of funky looking. It looks kind of like, I don't know, kind of like a splat. So we have that one, and then this little tiny one that's just kind of like a little fern or something, just like a little bloop, a little tiny little bit. So this one, the smaller one, we're going to do in Calypso Coral, and then these 2 we're going to do in Old Olive. And remember, you need 2 of the larger succulents in Sweet Sugar Plum. So I'm going to go ahead and get those stamped, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so now we have all of our little images stamped, and I accidentally forgot to stamp off on this one the first time, so I had to do it a second time. So you don't need 2 of the Calypso Coral, you just need 1. Don't follow my mistake. So now I'm going to bring in all of my little framelets for all of these images, and all 4 of these images have a framelit that fits on them. So what I like to do is just place it on there, take my little piece of washi, stick it on there. So you will have to run this through twice because we have 2 of the larger succulents, the Sweet Sugar Plum ones, but it shouldn't be too bad. Then we have this one, and I just, like I said, I just kind of rotate it around until I find where it just fits perfectly. And there we go. And then our last one. This one is my favorite because it's so funny looking, but it's actually a really, really good image, and it really helps the card. Like, I don't think I would have gotten the same effect if I would have had something different. So now I'm going to bring in, whoops, I'm knocking my tripod around. I'm going to bring in my Big Shot, and I'm just going to set this down. It fits just perfectly on my platform. So I'm going to stick my top plate on and crank it through. Okay, then take this top one off, slide it back through. And then I'm going to pop all of these off for now. This one I'm actually going to take out because, oops, sorry. Phone's going off. One thing I did want to note is I didn't stamp this one perfectly, but the nice thing about this is that we can actually hide that a little bit. So it's not the end of the world. If you don't get it 100% perfect, then it's really not that big of a deal. Just stick that on there, and I'm going to crank this through once more. Pull my plate back. Whoops. Okay, I'm going to move my Big Shot out of the way because we're done with that. And now for the fun part, to start putting everything together. So I'm going to just take all of these little guys out. The little ones are always the hardest because I always, of course, end up using the smallest little piece of washi. Oh boy. Okay, so we have that, and then our other one. Okay, set those off to the side for just a second because I want to grab our small piece of Whisper White and our Calypso Coral ink. And we're going to kind of put the card together first, and then we're going to put all of our little images that we just made on. So I'm using the sentiment that says, happy birthday to a very special person. I'm going to ink that up in the Calypso Coral, and then I'm going to stamp it over to the right-hand side. Just like so. Doesn't have to be perfect, just as long as you get it over there. That is all of the inking that we're going to be, or stamping that we're going to be doing. I'm going to grab my 2 other pieces here, and I'm going to just flip my little white piece over and put a little adhesive on the back of it and stick it down. I'm sticking it down probably, I don't know, 1/4 or 3/4 of the way down. I think the middle is right about here, so I don't have much room from the top to the middle. Then I'm going to take this piece of Sweet Sugar Plum, our card base, and fold this in half. Do you guys like my new background? I'm trying to kind of mix it up and get it a little bit better. Now that I have some better lighting, with my regular desk, there's a glare, so I wanted to try a couple different things to see if it's better. So I hope you guys like it, or if you have any other suggestions, let me know. I need to work on it just a little bit, but I think I'll really, really like this. Anyway, sorry. Okay, so now that we have that, I went ahead and put those 2 pieces onto our Sweet Sugar Plum background. And now I'm going to just kind of lay these all out so I can see everything I have. And let's start sticking them down. So I'm going to start with one of our large pink succulents. And this is the one that I stamped it a little crooked. The top up here is good, but down here it's a little crooked. So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of adhesive on the back, and I'm going to stick these ends down towards on our piece of Whisper White, on our little banner here. And then next I'm going to take this little berry looking one. I don't know how else to describe it other than that it's a berry looking one. And then I'm going to stick that one right about there. And what we're really doing here is we're kind of building up this little garden on our card. So I'm going to do the 2 green, or the 2 old olive pieces, and then my 2 Sweet Sugar Plum flowers. And I'm going to kind of rotate this one a little bit. And I'm leaving a little bit of white space in here because we're going to put this one on top, and I want to see as much of these other succulents as I can. So I'm just going to stick that one right there. And then I just had some dimensionals. Where did they go? I need 1 dimensional. Stick that on the back of our Calypso Coral one, and then just put that kind of right in the middle to fill up that open space. And that's our card for today, guys. So I really, really hope you enjoy it. This one is so stinking cute, but it's so easy to do. It's really not difficult. I love the two-step stamping and using the stamp off technique for this, because you get those colors that just match beautifully. Super easy, and you only have to use 1 ink pad to get 2 colors. You could even do 3 generation stamping if you wanted to. You could do that. You could do a ton of different things. So I really hope you guys enjoy this one. If you have any other projects that you want to see done with the Succulent Garden Suite, please let me know, because this is one of my favorites. I absolutely love it. So hopefully you guys enjoy. As always, you can head over to littlemooncreation.com and see every fun thing that's going on, all of my blog posts. I still have my sneaky little giveaway from my last video, as well as my paper share is still open. So if you're interested in either one of those, make sure you head over to my website and check that out. And you can always shop all of the Stampin' Up! Products. Now you can finally start shopping the occasion stuff, as well as get your Sale-A-Bration items 24/7. If you go to littlemooncreation.stampinup.net, you can get all of that fun stuff there. So I really hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!